welcome back. Another day, another vlog. Hope you're all well out there for this Monday in podcast land or on YouTube. Hope you had a good weekend. It wasn't too bad, or you didn't have to work, or you weren't locked up, or anything nasty with the COVID stuff. Yeah, I had a good weekend. I've had a really good relaxing. I've got no work done this week. I've got to be honest. I've done a bit, but I've been really chilled out and just enjoying playing with Jack this break. So it's been a fun week. Yeah, really cool. Work-wise, I haven't achieved a lot. I've been trying to get set up for the road, my road reel video. I'm trying to get that sorted, and I'd sort of stuffed up. I'd planned on doing just a behind the scenes. I thought I could just do a behind the scenes video, which I can't. I've got to do a behind the scenes of a video, but both of them are going to be 3 minutes. You've got to do 2 videos 3 minutes long. So if you are looking into that, just be aware you're not just doing one video, you've got to do 2. One's the video and then one's the behind the scenes. So, but I think I've got it worked out with some creative magic. I think I can turn my planning session for the video, which was going to be sort of part of the behind the scenes, into the actual video and then the behind the scenes. So it should still work. May not be world-class amazing, but I think it'll give a good insight into the back end. The hardest part I've found is trying to get it to under 3 minutes. I'm bloody terrible with my time. You've probably noticed that from watching my videos, or even on the daily vlog. It easily runs into 20 minutes. I could sit here for a half an hour and chat away about all sorts of guff. So yeah, very tricky in that respect. The 3 minutes is a tough little marker to manipulate. But I think I can get there. I've got to sit down and I've really got to sit and focus, and I think I can do that better at work when I'm just in my room. I can just sit there for 3 or 4 hours and just head first with the headphones on, head down, bum up, and just get into it. So I think I've got a bit there, but I've also got to get there this week's video, which I haven't even started. I've done this week's videos out, which was Trig Beach Nightscapes. I hope you enjoyed that. That was a little bit of something different. Again, it turned out from a plan B, went from a plan A of going down this gorgeous spot at Trig Beach and getting this little rock face is, and doing Astro and getting all that in. I did get 1 or 2 sort of with the Milky Way you would have seen in the video, which I was pretty happy with, but just too much light, and I forgot the moon was coming, so it's sort of a little bit of a stuff up. Plan B turned into a really cool night beachscape photo, seascape sort of combination, and some really nice. I think with my editing, I sort of try to get that sort of 80s sort of feel, that sort of try to get a little bit brighter. I've had some people say I've got sort of really dark sort of images, and I don't mind that. That's sort of the way I like things, a little bit more, I guess, contrasty, I guess. But I sort of try to put a little bit more colour in it, a little bit of something in there. So I hope you enjoyed that one. If you haven't seen it, you can go. It'll be on the end of the video on one of the sides. You can click through it. That's probably the easiest way once you finish watching this to go do that. But yeah, look, I'm pretty happy. So I've got to still start this week's video. I haven't even looked at what it was because I've been trying to concentrate on on the road reel project. I really want to get in there. It's $1 million worth of prizes. I think if you were lucky enough to win one of the, I think 4 segments, it's like 100 grand's worth of gear, which is just insane. Plus you get to meet people that can help you get better at what you do, and there's so many benefits out of it. Yeah, I have to do it, so it's one of those things where I may even have to see how I go this week. If I have a good run this week, I'm going to do some work tonight. I can't do it tomorrow because I've got to get up early, but I'll do some work tonight, and then I can smash it out this week, and then it's a matter of just getting all the photos. The photos tend to be the trickiest part when you're doing a video. Generally, the video side's pretty easy. It's just a matter of going through and just watching it over and over and chopping and cleaning and cutting and chopping and clipping and all that sort of fun. It's the photos and getting those edits right and working out what you're probably getting a similar theme across all the photos is what I'm trying to do now as well. Get that same sort of edit over them so they all have a similar sort of a feel. That's sort of what I'm trying to accomplish. Hope that's sort of working. I think it is. And so that does take a time, and then editing each photo and making sure they're good enough to put up there to show to you guys. So that's the tricky part on the actual photo videos. But I've still got like, I think I got 2 or 3 in the back burner there ready to go. I've just got to get the time to get them done and start working on them. So they may be this weekend coming. Might be just one of those ones where it's Saturday, Sunday when I don't have this show, I can sit there and smash it out and just get them done. So, but I definitely should hopefully get it done. I want to try and get that road reel done and dusted and get that uploaded and entered. So that's pretty high priority. I think that's good until about the 16th, I think. Don't quote me, but I think I'll try and find the date. I'm pretty sure it's mid next month it's due. They've got to be entered by, so not far away. So yeah, a lot of happening. If you haven't noticed, I did a bit of shopping and some cheap shopping. I'll give you a hot tip. If you're looking for some lights, just some RGB lights, and if you're doing a gaming rig or whatever and you want something cheap to put up, some of them can be expensive, especially these big bars. They can be like $200, $300, $400 a pop. IKEA, I think this one was $5, and this RGB one was like $50, I think, $50. Bargain. RGB, it's like a 6-foot pole. You can't beat it. You buy 4 of them for the price of one of these other ones, whack it in, and if it goes, just go back to IKEA and get another one. So IKEA definitely for your lighting. If you're setting up a little shop or setting up your studio or whatever, definitely go check that out. I think it's definitely worthwhile. $5 for that, you can't beat that. Like bargain. They're both USB plug-in, definitely pretty cool. And if I had a better space other than the shed, it'd look a lot better, I'm sure. Radio news, got a fair bit to get through. As well as that, my Siri gimbal I'm going to try and be using with the H800, the Canon Vixia. I'm going to try and use that this swing. I have to take this up, so it's more stuff to carry, but I want to try and give that a crack and just see how that goes running with that, see if I can get a silky smooth sort of vlogging setup and start using this a bit more that I've got it. It's a good bit of kit and I don't want to sort of just let it sit there and waste, so fingers crossed I can get that sorted. I think it should come up really good. Looks pretty nice in there, nice lightweight package, nice. Now, news-wise, some big stuff happening. ZTE have released the world's first under-screen front-facing camera. So, picture your mobile phone, you've got that little pinhole on like your Samsungs and Android devices, and Apple's got the big notch that everyone whinges about. That really doesn't bother me. I guess if you're gaming or stuff, but if you're looking to the edge of your phone and that's really bugging you, then you've got some issues OCD wise, I think. It's very rare that you're looking over that way. My biggest pain in the ass with my iPhone is the friggin' notifications always come from the top, and somehow you got to move your thumb up to swipe, and your thumb's never long enough to go up to get rid of them, and they always sit there when you're in the middle of trying to do something, which drives me nuts. I'm not sure if there's a way you can put them to come on a different angle or come out from the bottom or something. That would be a lot better, but coming from the top is a pain. The notch really doesn't bother me. But look, ZTE's brought it out. It's the world's first. Everyone's been trying to do it for a while now. It's called the Axon 25G. I don't know if it's going to be a huge seller in that regards, but the technology's there. They've worked it out. I'd say in the next 1 to 2 years, most of the big boys will either swap over or someone will just buy ZTE out so they can get the technology, and that'll be the end of your notches. So they're not too far away, the demise of the notch. Pretty cool. I'm not sure if it does have a thumb. There was not much other specs. They're talking about it. Lou was talking this over on Lou later, so it was pretty cool to see it. Look, September 1st, they released these, so you can definitely go online and check it out. I've got a photo on the thumbnail of this, so you can go check it out there. But yeah, other than that, looks pretty cool. If you were anti-notch, well, this is the phone that might make you change your mind. It's definitely an Android side. This is one you could definitely use. Now, Apple, September the 10th is the date for Apple. Apparently, they did a YouTube test that was someone screenshotted. Where you do a test and it comes up on your feed when you subscribe to Apple. That they've done a test, basically your little YouTube test when they're trying out a go live program, and it's sort of been caught. So we don't know if there's sort of talk. Well, yeah, maybe they've just got the dates the same as last year, the setup test. Pretty much, I think you've got to do them all over again. I'd say that it's probably not far off being at September 10th again. It was September 10th last year. There's no reason why they can't have the show on September 10th. And then the products, we all know they're going to be delayed, as long as they release them, they've got something that they can show and release. Then the actual product can come whenever they want to release it. Doesn't matter when that comes. I think pretty much normal for me is when the iPhone releases, and I'm due to get one this year. I can't get one anyway through my supplier till January. So it takes 3-4 months before there's enough stock to actually get fed down to us plebs on the bottom end of the queue. So even as a business customer, no one really gives a shit about us at Telstra. So generally it takes 3 months before you even get your phone once you have ordered it. So I don't think it's a big drama that you can't order the stock and get it straight away. I think the fact that people just want to see what's coming, and that's probably the biggest thing. So keeping that September date is probably pretty accurate, I'd say. Now, GM, we talked about a few things about the different electric cars, the Hummer, they talked about the new Ute, the Chevy, and all that sort of stuff. Well, a lot of their shareholders and Wall Street have talked about the fact that maybe it's a better idea for GM just to create a separate brand. We did talk, I think, last week or the week before about Hyundai doing their Ioniq. So their whole electric range will come under the Ioniq brand name. And it looks that way that GM may be heading that way. They're going to create whatever they call it. They did have the Chevy Volt, so they may call it the Volt range or something. They were the world's first car manufacturer with electric car back in the 90s. They canned that because I don't know what. No one knows why. So we could have been driving electric cars for the last 20 years, but for whatever reason, GM canned it really early on, even though it was super, super mega successful. There is actually a documentary, I think the boys a little later were talking about, which I have been meaning to watch for many a year. But don't want to get sidetracked. But yeah, so GM will be looking at possibly having a separate electronic brand. So instead of having the Hummer truck and all that, they may just bring out a whole new brand and have a dedicated electric car range there that you can use. So that will be pretty interesting. Now, speaking of amazing cars and some freaked out stuff, the Ram TRX Hellcat is been pretty much released and ready to go. You can buy it for about $72,000 US as a base model. It has got the Hellcat engine in it. If you know anything about cars, this is the engine that pretty much one of the most powerful engines you can get. 702 horsepower. This truck, full-size 1500 truck, is going to do 0 to 60 in 4.5, or 0 to 100 for us Australians, 4.5 seconds, 0 to 100 mile in 10.5, and it'll do the quarter mile in 12.9 seconds in a Ute, a big, massive Ute. So a 1-ton truck. So that's insane. Top speed of 118 miles an hour. It's going to have launch control, which will set you off at 4,500 revs. And it's going to have heads-up display amongst other stuff. The interior looks amazing. Typical Ram stuff. They've done really good in the last few years with the quality and comforts inside. So it's got the big screen display, all the tech stuff you could want. But it's a big answer back at Ford for the Raptor. Obviously, the Raptor's had all the headlines for the last few years. A lot of people have gone it. We've talked about the Raptor that's come into the Ford into Australia. Into the Ranger Raptor we've got. Well, now obviously Ram's going, well, stuff that we can do the same. If we can do better than that, actually, because they've brought out this monster beast with that massive Hemi engine. So 702 horsepower behind you. That's amazing. It's got Bilstein shocks. They reckon it'll do 100 mile an hour on the dirt, so that's insane. Yeah, that's a little scary. But what a beast, 72,000. Look, that's inexpensive sort of, and you can obviously spec that up. So anywhere up to say 80,000, that's going to take you similarly to the top end of your F-150 range, to your Raptor area, which are going to be in Australia. You're going to be looking at least 200 grand with all the friggin' taxes, the compliance plates, and all the other stuff we have to, because everything's imported to Australia now. We don't have a car industry anymore. Nothing's made here, so we still got to pay import taxes for some reason. So yeah, you're going to be looking. You're not going to get much change out of 200 grand if you want one, but what a car it's going to be. Definitely, if you win the lotto, this could be the new ute for you to take down the local pub. Right, Epic and Apple, still no end to this. Epic is signing up a heap of other companies to join the fight with them. I don't think it's going to, as I said to you, it's definitely not going to be finished. It's far from over. Epic's hosting a tournament and even taking the piss out of Apple with the promotions of it. All the prizes are going to be non-Apple related, so stuff like PlayStation 4s and Switches, Nintendo Switches, all these other ways that you can play Fortnite that aren't Apple. So there's a lot happening in that regards. And I said they've signed up a heap of other companies that are joining the fight against Apple, against that 30% tax. And they've even got a hashtag free Fortnite. So yeah, look, it's all on. And as I said, I don't think this is far from over. Apparently, Apple said that Epic had come to them early on and offered a thing, so they knew all about it. So they're both possibly a little bit dodgy in their dealing with this process. So yeah, look, I think it's definitely going to go the long term and going to end up in the lawyers' hands. Yeah. Unfortunately, the only ones that are going to suffer are the poor gamers, and there's going to be a fair few of them because, yeah, I think that this is going to be not a month thing. This could be like till next year sort of drama. So see how that goes. Now, India has ramped up its building. We know the China relationship with America, the US, obviously pretty much hopeless at the moment. We know India's been, for the last year, has been ramping up, trying to get a piece of that pie to take over from China as the next superpower of making stuff. Well, look, they've finally been given their first hit in the big game. The iPhone 12 is going to be made in India. So not only in China and its normal spots, it's going to be now, it's been licensed, so they're allowed to make it in India as well. Huge news. Before that, they could make second tier stuff. They weren't allowed to make that first tier prime time stuff. But obviously, Apple's looking any way to get enough stock out, so when they put it up for sale, they can get it out to their customers, and they're going to be using India to help them achieve that goal. So huge news for India. Another slap in the face for China, which is sort of, or probably a wake-up call, I guess, to say, hey, hang on, you don't run the world, and there's other people willing to do the same job as you. So pretty interesting, and look, I think it's definitely a way forward. India's got 1.5 billion plus people. Yes, China's got a couple of billion. It's all about who can make it for the right price, at the right pace, at the right quality. India's always been renowned for being pretty well ahead of their technical game. So like they're pretty switched on country in regards to technology. So I can't see why they couldn't be able to do it. And I think they'll do a pretty good job. Now, more news. Heaps over this weekend, which is unusual, but it's good. R5, there's a video. J Marcus Photography's chucked a video up on the YouTube. On YouTube, sorry. He's basically got an R5 and he's found a little hack for it to get over the heat issues. So if you're recording video in either 4K, ultra high def, or 8K, what you can do is you can put a little bit of tape over the battery door. So basically where the battery slides into the camera, and there's the door, there's obviously a little sensor for that door. Go watch the video, you can check it out. You just tape over that little sensor so it thinks the door's always closed. And what you can do, once you get the heat warning up, you can basically drop the battery out, 10 seconds, put it back in, and it'll give you another 5 minutes video. Look, it's a pain in the ass, but if you've got one and you need to do some stuff with it, it's a little cheap option. It's probably going to avoid your warranty and all the other stuff. I can't imagine Canon's going to let this go on for too much longer. If people can work out that the internal battery, you move that and it fixes this problem, you can tape over the door and it fixes this problem. It's clearly not a heat issue. It's clearly a software, hardware issue that they're going to need to fix. I can't see any other way around it. It's insane. The temperatures have all been checked. Everyone's had infrared cameras and temp cameras and all sorts of stuff on them. It's definitely not the camera overheating. It's definitely a restriction built into the software or hardware that Canon needs to address, and I think they need to address it very, very soon. I can't imagine them going too much longer because I think it's definitely going to affect the sales of it. You've got the AS3 over there just selling like hotcakes and no issues that I know of or have seen videos of. Yeah, it's not a great photography camera, but it's a fantastic video camera, and I know the R5 is just copping it. Even though it's a fantastic photography camera, if it's supposed to be a hybrid, if you can't use that video function, well, then it ain't a hybrid. It's just a very expensive photography camera. And you can probably get an ESR or an M50 for this, do the same job if you're going to be going that thing, or go AS, the old 5D Mark IV. They're probably still a good job to hold on to one of those if you've got it. So be interesting to see how Canon bounces back from this. They're going to, as I said, they need to do something really, really quickly and get that sorted. Now, there was not on a photography side, but more just technology side, Canon has released something positive over the weekend. It's a new little sensor. It's a 1 1/8 inch CMOS sensor called the LI7050, and it's mainly designed for security, microscopes, underwater drones, that sort of stuff. So it's not specifically for video or photography, but amazing bit of kit, full high def video in 0.08 lux. So basically one candle going in a room and crystal clear images in color. Wow. There's videos on the web. You can go check it out. Very, very cool. It'll massive HDR functions to it, and the dynamic range, it'll go from 0.08 lux, which is the lowest setting, all the way up to 80,000 lux. So it'll really take out all those peaks and frosts and all that white death that kills a lot of videos. So very, very cool. Like I said, it's more security. It's not going to be into cameras and such yet, but this technology is, look, always good, and sooner or later technology gets shared around departments, and it may end up in a new video camcorder, a new photography camera, something like that, which could make a massive difference. To be able to record low light is awesome, especially for video. That would make a huge difference. I think Potato Jet had on it when he had the ASR A7S3. He could just about see the Milky Way filming it just off the camera, which was insane. That would be awesome, especially for me. If you're doing night stuff, it's a bit of a pain having to carry all these lights and everything, so you can just see us, and then trying to light up the background so you can see what we're sort of talking about. So if you could have a camera that could pick up a lot of that, it would make it a lot easier for us. So that would be pretty cool. And then last but not least, just over on Canon Rumors as well, and that was from Canon Rumors. New Canon Speedlight has been, which we talked about a while ago, it's finally hit its certification, so it won't be far before that gets released. And they've also talked about how Canon is basically going to be releasing stuff for the rest of the year. Sorry about that. Releasing stuff for the rest of the year. They've got heat coming out. The M50s and all those things are coming. Don't know what happened there. M50s and everything coming. There's the new RF range of cinema cameras. They're just about out. The C70s already been spotted in the wild. Heaps and heaps coming for the camera world. Heaps and heaps coming from the tech side, from Apple. We've got the event next month. That's not far away. All happening. Rightio. I better go. I'm out of breath. Have a great Monday. Hope you're well. Hope work isn't too boring and too painful. It always is a bit on Mondays. That first day is always a killer. It should be done and dusted, half done and dusted by now, and I'll see you all again tomorrow. Radio, stay safe and catch you soon. Whether you're going this way, that way, I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.